If Guy Ritchie would make an incredibly low budget and shitty horror movie, this would be that movie. We watched Hell Bride. We watched it so you don't have to. So you know what time it is.
Horror, so bad and scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad and scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
What's up, Moongoons? Welcome to Horrible Horror, the show where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Marshall Hampton, and with me, finally, after a long hiatus of just weird events and time off, Aaron's back. Aaron, welcome back to the show.
I'm back, baby. Woo! Back.
He is back. We have had, our lives have changed dramatically in this last month for both of us.
Life is happening.
Life is happening. I didn't give birth, but the birth of my first child happened last week, and
Congratulations.
Thank you, Aaron. You bought a super new house.
Just got a
Awesome
new,
house.
just bought a house, did all the closing, all that stuff, moving in, painting places. Pretty excited. So yeah, big events. I mean, hey, baby Olivia is beautiful.
Yep,
Beautiful little girl.
beautiful little girl. Life's happened. We're, I guess, actually considered adults now. We house owners and baby havers.
I'm tired of being adulting.
It sucks. Speaking of sucks, let's move on to this movie.
Nice segue.
We watched Hell Bride, this British independent movie that was released back in 2007. It was written and directed by Pat Higgins, and it's a short movie. It's got a runtime of an hour and 16 minutes. Cast, absolutely zero anybody you've never heard of, unless you're like some British person who might have seen these people
Not
somewhere.
even like BBC actors. A
Yeah.
lot of BBC actors you'll see, show up on different shows. They just kind of work with each other. None of them.
Yeah.
Don't recognize a soul.
Yeah, the only person, the guy who plays the main character, Lee Parker, his name's James Fisher. He has 35 credits under his belt, but again, nothing I've fucking heard of ever. And the only, this is weird fucking coincidence, another that links this movie to a previous movie we've done on the show.
Oh shit.
The actress Eleanor James, who plays the ghost of Josephine Stewart, she has 34 credits to her name.
She looked familiar.
Well, that's because we've seen her naked, because she was one of the demon
Yes!
succubus in Forest of the Damned,
Yes.
a.k.a. Demonic, and she's in Forest of the Damned 2, which is in post-production and coming out soon.
They made another one?
Yeah, they made another one.
Whoa.
So,
And she reprises her role as a nymph?
angel, nymph, demon, whatever the fuck. I know we had a big argument over what the hell they actually were.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it.
Cool.
That's it. So we're just going to jump right into this movie because there's not much to talk about. Other it opens immediately with a voiceover narrator, and he's giving like this backstory of this cursed gem and how it's managed to get passed down through generation, and that every woman who has worn this ring has ended up dying.
This is fucking Lord of the Rings.
It very much is.
It's so the intro, like, it's not clear. Oh, who was the actress who played Galadriel in Lord of the Rings?
You're talking Liv Taylor?
Not Liv Taylor, the other woodland elf.
Oh,
Elle McPherson or something? No.
Kate Beckett, not Beckinsale.
No.
Uh,
Anyway.
Blankenship. Was it Kate Blankenship? I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway.
I know what you're talking about.
Instead of her, you got some guy saying, the ring was forged and it's got her malice and her anger. One ring to kill them all. You know what I mean?
I even think, yeah, it's very much like that.
It's pretty ridiculous. And it even follows the same kind of story.
Yeah.
It's like, it was lost. It was buried for some time. And everyone thought that it'd be gone. But then it resurfaced. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I didn't. Wow, I can't even think of it. It's very much, yes, it's very much, it is the one ring to rule them all.
Yeah.
So basically, it just breaks down that every woman who's worn this ring has died.
Yes.
And
in horrible ways, the family dies, people around them die.
Yeah.
this ring is it's a cursed ring.
Yeah.
And it's kind of funny because they're talking about this cursed ring and they're showing
a necklace.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. I have a whole paragraph here. It's like the whole time they're talking about this, it's a cursed engagement ring, a wedding ring, and it's ring. But the entire entire thing you were staring at this whole time is a fucking heart-shaped necklace.
It's like a pendant. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like,
And it's not even that. Talking about another ripoff. You're talking Lord of the Rings. It's a ripoff of the Heart of the Ocean from Titanic. It's a blue sapphire heart necklace.
You're right. It kind of looks like that. Oh my God. That's a connection I didn't make.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So yeah.
Right off the bat, I'm like, fuck.
They can't get anything right. So once narrator ends his little story,
he's so dramatic with it.
yeah.
Too.
The image of a bride biting into a bloody severed finger is flashed on the screen. Roll the opening credits.
And did you notice the music for the opening credits was like, it was like kind of sexy R&B-ish, kind of like, it made me think of softcore porns.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. It was just really strange.
So once the opening credits are done, we meet Lee Parker, the main character. He's shopping for an engagement ring in this crappy little shop. And it looks almost like a British porn shop. Not porn, a pawn, I'm sorry. British pawn
you got
shop.
porn on the mind.
Well, yeah, you brought it up. Or, like, it's just like this little mom and pop thing. It doesn't look like a real jewelry store. It's like a knick-knack store, and they happen to have a little bit of jewelry.
And he's a stammering idiot.
Yeah, he is.
He's just going, I'll take that one. Oh, I don't know.
No, maybe this one.
Maybe it's the right price.
Yes, no, I don't know. What do you think?
Keeps going and going, and the shop owner's looking at him like, you dumbass.
So, of course, he picks the cursed ring. I mean, or we wouldn't have a movie.
The one.
It's the one.
It's the one.
And, by the way, Lee is a stand-up comedian in this movie. So throughout this movie, we get scenes of him performing his stand-up routine.
Really shitty stand-up.
Which, again, unless I just don't get his style of comedy, there's nothing funny about his act at all. Like, I'd never found anything he said funny.
It's less comedy, more spoken word. It
really is.
Yeah.
Like, he's supposed to be a comedian, but he's just talking. It's like not. Yeah, he's not really.
I mean, it's. Yeah, we'll get into it later, but it's not that great.
So early on, we also meet Lee's friend Andy. As the two of them talk about Lee, like finally popping the question to his girlfriend Nicole, and this takes us to Lee and Nicole spending a nice, romantic, and relaxing day in the park, and it's supposed to be like this really beautiful, picturesque park, but it looks like they're just lying in front of someone's yard or something.
Yeah, like some nice little landscaping area.
Because there's you can clearly see like the building and weeds like right behind them. You see this great building like and the weeds right along the wall, like directly behind these guys.
Yeah, well, shoestring budget, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, even on a shoestring budget, you go to a nice park.
Couldn't even get a good park.
Jesus. So after some more bubbling on and like, just tripping over his words, like Lee, because he's a fucking idiot. He does manage to propose to her, and of course, she says yes. And she's like, Nicole's like, "Oh, my dad will be so happy," and blah blah blah. And this cuts directly to her father, who's yelling on the ranting, raving on the phone about not being happy, and talks about what happens to people who don't pay back their debts. And in comes Lee and Nicole. Again, Lee nervously trips over more words while telling the father that they're getting married. And it's just, he's like, "Oh, good for you. Yeah, great. All right." And they turn around and leave. Like, that's the whole scene.
But the father, when he's on the phone and he's yelling and he's screaming, you get the sense that he's a bad dude. Like, he's a gangster.
Yeah.
It's so, like, the dialogue, the way he's speaking, it's so fucking Guy Ritchie.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was gonna bring that up later, but the father and a lot of the, I don't even want to say side plots, but just
they're like
weird
gangsters.
shit that goes on. Yeah, it's very much like a very poor man's version of Snatch. Or Lock, Stock, and Two Broken Barrels.
Smoking Barrels.
Smoking Barrels.
Yes.
What did I say?
Broken.
Broken? Oh,
That's
smoking.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's such a direct ripoff. Like, I'm expecting Bricktop to walk in at some moment.
There's a scene like near the end where we get to with the rival gangster. I'm like, that's what I'm like. Is this fucking Bricktop talking right now? Like, is this just a ripoff of Bricktop?
Yeah. Oh my god.
And what, like, is somebody gonna feed him to the pigs next? I mean, what's going on?
Do you know what Nemesis means? I think I remember that. Hold on. A righteous infliction of retribution manifested by appropriate agent, personified in this case by a horrible cunt. Me.
I can't argue that, Greg. Right on.
I just can't do it in an English accent.
Spot on. So I'm going to skip over a few scenes of Lee and Nicole in the woods. They're just talking, and then they're practicing their, I guess, wedding dance in like a sunroom somewhere. And Andy's planning a bachelor party. It all happens at once. Nothing happens.
I do like when he's planning the bachelor party. He does ask if the venue has a vomitorium.
Yes, a vomitorium.
And he's like, a vomitorium where people can go vomit and come back for more libations.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Wouldn't that just be a bathroom? I mean, just go to any bathroom. And
Yeah. Do you need a particular vomitorium?
Yeah, just go to a bathroom.
Yeah.
Or step outside. Really, anywhere is a vomitorium if you have to vomit bad enough. So, we get another scene of Lee and Nicole on some beach somewhere. And it cuts to a dark-haired woman walking through like this fancy garden wearing like old Victorian red-style dress. And this woman's voice is doing voiceover, talking about love and weddings. And it's just this weird, out-of-place scene.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really understand what's happening there, like why it's there. It's just very nonsense. It doesn't make sense. And another very harsh cutback to Nicole waking up in the middle of the night, and then she jumps. Then there's another jump. So before we jump, was she I guess she's dreaming about this woman in the garden. That's the only thing I get from it.
But the editing is pretty bad.
Yeah.
You don't get that sense. And
yeah, you don't.
Again, the editing in this movie is pretty shitty.
Yeah, it's not great. And then we jump to her entering her dad's office, her dad entering his office. So now we're either that night or next day.
It's like cut. What's happening? Where are we at?
Yeah,
What's going on?
it's
Is
hard
this
to
part of
follow
a dream?
the
Yeah,
timeline.
you did, because especially when you leave a dream sequence.
Yeah.
And then you're going into someone. It's like, is this part of the dream? Is this, or where are we?
Yeah.
It's tough to.
That's exactly that's the feeling I had.
Yeah.
But in the office, some younger guy is sitting at the father's desk, and it turns out this guy is the son of the father's like rival gang leader, mobster, or something like that. And Leslie, the father, it turns out like he owes $250,000, I guess, pounds or something, to this guy's father, to his rival.
Maybe at the time it was euros.
Maybe. It was 2007, so
yeah,
who
I
knows?
guess it would be.
And then after some more like British slang talk,
And
this is where I made my note about Snatch and Guy
Tell me
Ritchie.
about
this
it, yeah.
scene is straight up,
very Snatch or Guy Ritchie-esque. I mean, like the dialogue back, he's pointing a gun at him.
Yeah.
The kid gets upset, starts pointing a gun at the dad, and the dad is just cool as a cucumber.
Yep.
Doesn't jump, doesn't, even like blink, and he's just like, they have like a witty exchange.
Yeah, it's like a bunch again
back and forth.
British slang and phrases that I don't know what the fuck they're going on.
And sometimes, man, it's hard to understand these motherfuckers. You invented the language. Fucking speak it right. Jesus Christ.
They probably say the same thing about us. We've butchered the English language more than they have. I will say that.
Nope.
Millennials have.
At least I don't sound like I'm speaking with marbles in my mouth.
Well, that's not butchering the language. That's just an accent. That's not grammar and dialogue.
Well, their accent is absolutely horrible.
There are some very thick accents in this movie. That's true. But so anyway, Leslie, and it goes on and on, them talking back. When finally Leslie pulls out his own gun. So they're holding guns at each other. And the guy's like, "You're not going to shoot me because my father will rain down hell and blah, 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 blah. We own you, but now your daughter, on the other hand, blah, blah." And as soon as he mentions the daughter, Leslie shoots this guy in the head, killing him.
First kill.
Yeah. Nicole walks in seconds later. Like, it's like, bang, in comes Nicole. And she sees the dead guy sitting in the father's chair and her father standing over the body. And I guess she's used to it because she doesn't really care that there's some murdered guy in the office, because her first line after seeing the dead body is, "You're my dad, and I love you, and with love comes trust. I trust you. So what are we gonna do with the body?"
Yeah, he even says, the dad, he was like, I'm sorry, I'm about to call the police. I'm going to turn myself in. It's like, okay, he's going to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And then she's like, nah.
I'm just like, exactly. Are you kidding me? Like, no questions asked. Like, I would have a lot of questions if I walk in and see my dad standing over a guy with a bullet hole in his head.
Holding a gun.
Holding a gun. You just murdered somebody in your own office. You're like, I'll help you dig that's I'll go grab a shovel.
Where are we going to dispose of this body, Dad?
So, and then she's like, we can never say anything about this to Lee. So, like, all right. And then they make plans to ditch the body, and she leaves for a while. She's like, all right, we'll ditch the body later. I'm going to go.
She becomes this, like, mastermind for eliminating the body. She's like, we can put him in the quarry. No one's been using that for a while.
I wonder if secretly she is the leader of this gang. Like, she's the crime lord, and he works for her.
I like that.
Well, and it makes the movie more interesting that way.
It really does. And... yeah, she's like, I'm going to go to the movie. I'm going to come back from the movie when it's dark, and then we can take care of the body.
Yeah,
and,
I'm going to go get an alibi, so I was at the movie.
And he goes something to the effect of, I don't know what I can say. And she goes, best daughter ever.
So after she leaves, we get another scene of Lee's fucking stand-up comedy. Which
this goes on for a while.
Which is not funny.
It's not. And again, it's not like stand-up.
No, it's like he's just, I don't know, it's weird.
Just giving his opinions on things.
Yeah. The next night, we're taken to like this small, crappy, like this flat or apartment of the store clerk we saw at the beginning of the movie, who sold Lee the ring, and he's just sitting on his couch in front of the telly, which is already like 2 feet in front of him. Like, it's this, like, you can't get this thing any closer to the TV.
This guy's got a small apartment.
Yeah. I think there's dorm rooms bigger than this guy's apartment. He hears something. He gets up to go check the front door, seeing nothing. And he goes back to the couch, goes back to watching the telly, which is, you can tell, obviously not even turned on. He's just staring at a powerless black screen, I guess. And but now, creeping out from behind the couch comes this guy dressed in like black sheets,
like a druid or something,
and wearing like an old plague doctor's mask. It's the kind with like the long nose that almost look very bird-esque.
Mm-hmm.
They were used for the bubonic plague, and they would stuff it with like certain herbs and flowers that would
so it didn't smell so bad. Yeah. That's good on you, man.
Yeah.
Good on you, because I was actually going to mention that too.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just recently heard or saw something about it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then I saw the mask, and I was like, ooh, I got a little piece of education for the show. And you already had it. Good job.
Yeah. So this guy creature grabs.
It's like a monster.
Yeah,
so they describe it as a monster.
Yeah, in the credits it's listed as monster, but it's just a guy in sheets and a mask.
He's in a big cloak, like a druid cloak or something, and with the mask, with the bubonic.
Yeah, he doesn't
mask.
look, and his hands look like Freddy Krueger. Like he's got like or like leprosy on his hands or something.
Yeah, his hands look fucked up.
Yeah, and he doesn't
like
look
maybe claws on him or something too.
I don't know about claws, but he doesn't look very monstrous. Yeah. Anyway, he grabs the store clerk by the head, and I guess he crushes his head. Like
there's blood. He's grabbing his face, and it looks like his fingers are going into his
eyes, maybe, but
his face. You know, I mean, it's kind of shaky. They're moving around a whole lot. It's kind of hard to see exactly what's happening.
That's what you make up for shitty. When you don't have good effects, you just
move around.
You try to hide it as best you can.
Yeah. But there's blood, and he's whimpering, and he's either crushing his head or slicing him open.
Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, he kills the shopkeeper, the clerk. And
where the fuck does this thing come from?
Yeah,
what is this?
Yeah, it makes zero sense. You get no information on what this thing is or where it comes from. But as soon as he's dead, the guy in the mask starts like clapping his hands like a retard. He's like seriously, he looks like a retarded kid. He's like, yay, I did, yeah. And then all of a sudden, like you see a finger. There's another hand, shoot up like from off screen, just a single hand holding up one finger,
like the shush kind of.
Yeah, like the shush, and he just stops, and that's the scene. And then we cut away. Like what?
I can't believe you went retard. It's a bold choice.
Yeah, but I did. So like I said, we cut from that to Nicole and her friend Carly talking and having drinks at a pub, and this leads to a flashback of how Lee and Nicole met in an elevator, or a lift, if we're gonna say with British.
I like your use of the flat, the telly, the lift. Look at you.
So, and it's really stupid. It's a stupid scene. Like, first of all, Nicole and Carly are supposed to say that they've been best friends for like 14 years, but she acts like she's never, like, this is the first time they ever heard about Lee and Nicole meeting. Like, you would think your best friend Ford, you would know.
Kinda-
you would know how they met years ago. Like,
right.
It's stupid. It's just a lame excuse to put this stupid ass scene in the movie.
And it's a comedy scene.
It's supposed to be, again, but all these scenes just seem to slow the story down. It's just,
Yeah, this movie's not that long.
no, but
It's a short movie,
yeah.
but wow, it feels long.
Yeah, and some of these scenes, it feels long, but they could have taken out half this stuff and made it even a shorter movie.
At the end of the day, the storyline from start to finish is probably about a half-hour movie.
Probably,
And the rest
and
is
it's
just
just
filled
filler.
in with filler.
Yeah. So, again, this goes on for a while, and we go to Lee and Andy. They're sitting on a couch somewhere, drinking,
In their apartment.
watching telly. We don't know if we're in Lee's or Andy's place. I don't remember. And basically we learned that Andy and Carly are exes, that they had dated at one point. Back at the pub, Carly gets up to go to the water closet. After she leaves the table, the man in the plague mask pops up right next to Nicole's face, says something that I can't understand, whispers something. And while bleeding from the mouth, Nicole screams, jumps up. The camera does like this really fast zoom out to reveal that the man in the mask is gone.
Nowhere to be seen.
And the rest of the few people in the pub are just looking at her like she's a crazy
Like she's
woman.
crazy.
Yeah.
She's like, "Did you see him? Did you see him?" Ah!
Yeah.
She really like keeps cranking it up. I mean, most movies when they have that like and they realize nothing's there, they calm down.
Yeah, like, oh.
She just kept going.
She
just kept on. Who saw that motherfucker? She's just screaming and screaming and screaming, and it's like people are like, "All right, bitch, calm down."
Calm the fuck down. So Carly comes back from the world's fastest piss to find Nicole standing, freaking out, screaming, and they leave and they head over to Lee's place.
She kept calling him the dirty man. Who saw the dirty man?
The dirty man. I missed that.
Yeah, she calling him dirty man.
Weird.
Yeah.
So again, I'm gonna skip over this long scene of the four of them at Lee's place because it's again useless. It's boring. And
well, you meet one of the characters who later gets messed
the
up.
only thing we meet, we meet Carly's current boyfriend. I think David or Eric or whatever.
Eric.
Is it Eric?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they come back to the apartment. The girls come back to the apartment. Carly asks for a ride home. She calls her boyfriend to come pick her up.
Yeah.
Boyfriend comes. There's exchange with what's his nuts? Not Lee.
Andy.
You know, it's kind of supposed to be funny again.
It's supposed to be.
He's
but
talking about her nipples.
Yeah.
You know, it sounds like, I know I just said nipples, and I'm sure the listeners are like, "Ooh, well, tell me more about nipples." It's really not good.
No, it's not.
It's really not that funny. So, you know, I know nipples are fun, but
the basic was okay. If we're gonna cover this, then here's what I think. It comes down to this: Carly is drunk, and she comes down and starts talking to Andy. He's like, "Why are you talking to me?" "Oh, because I'm drunk and I'm curious." And then Andy goes into a spiel about how he wished he could take one thing from each of his ex-girlfriends and I guess combine them into the one perfect woman. And she's like, "Well,
Franken girlfriend. Yeah.
What would you take from me?" And he goes, "Your nipples."
Yeah, in front of
the
new boyfriend.
In front of the new boyfriend. And the new boyfriend ends up punching Andy, and
Carly punches him.
And then they leave.
Yeah, and
so
that's
it's just the whole thing drags on.
Mm-hmm.
It's so, basically, John and Carly be startled awake. Okay, Carly gets startled awake in her bed from a bad dream. Her boyfriend wakes up from her scream or her movements.
Mm-hmm.
They get into a short argument over Carly's dating history in the middle of the night.
She wakes up and she sees the girl in the Victorian dress that we saw earlier at the foot of her bed.
Yeah.
And she's like, now, this is kind of weird because the whole story right at the beginning, it tells you that the ring is going to kill the bride or it's going to ruin the marriage. Why is everyone else getting fucked with?
Well, because in the opening monologue of the narrator, it did say that the curse it killed pretty much everybody involved in the wedding.
That's true.
It affected everybody, or Josephine ended up killing everybody.
Yeah,
and worked her way up to like the bride and the groom.
That's true. Okay, I forgot about that.
Still,
it's not.
It's
not clear at this point.
You're right. It is. It's not. But basically, they get in an argument over Carly's dating history. He's like, "You're so mad at me for having a pants? Like, I don't care about you're just dating idiots and blah blah blah." I go, shut up. No, you shut up.
Argue.
It's stupid.
Go to bed angry.
Basically, he says the only way I'm ever going to shut up about this is if you sew my mouth shut. That's the one thing you need to take away from this, from their exchange. They go back to sleep. Now we see the ghost of Josephine Stewart, again, standing at the foot of the bed, watching them sleep. The man in the mask creeps out from behind Josephine. She places a finger to the boyfriend's lips in like the shushing gesture, and then proceeds to literally sew his mouth shut, which astonishingly he is able to sleep through.
Yeah, he doesn't.
What?
So, I mean, she kind of did that weird shush thing, so maybe it was a spell or something.
I was gonna say that's
right.
the only thing I can come up with. Like maybe there's like a sleep spell or like
Yeah.
okay, you're out. What?
You're not gonna feel this.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So she sews. They show her like going through the motions of sewing, but you're not seeing him actually be.
You see the needle put to his lips, and then it
Mhm.
shows a perspective. It shows her, and you see her hand going up and down. So you don't
actually
see it.
see it in the lips.
Yeah.
So she gets done, and Eric then wakes
Yeah.
up.
Like as soon as she's done, he wakes up in a panic.
Mm-hmm. And but it was kind of funny because he reached up, he feels his lips, and then he kind of rolled his eyes like, ugh.
What? I missed that.
It wasn't like panic or shock or fear, it was more annoyance. Like, God damn it. Someone show my lips shut again. Like, old hat, you know? It's just a pain in the ass.
So they show him freaking out or in his quote unquote panic, we'll say. Yeah. And that's it. Then it just cuts to the next morning with Carly waking up, and she rolls over and he's gone. Like his whole body is gone. There's no trace of him except like the head indentation on the pillow and a single drop of blood.
One speck of blood.
Yeah, which Carly nobody sees. And that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So what?
What? Did he die?
Yeah.
Did he go to the hospital?
Yeah, and he's like, Carly should check there. Like, that's a good point. Like, I guess I need to go to the hospital. Somebody sewed my lips shut in the middle of the night.
Yeah. Why? I mean, he obviously wakes up. The ghost is gone. The monster's gone.
Yeah.
He's got his lips sewn shut. Why doesn't he just wake her up and be like,
Yeah. Did you do this, bitch?
Yeah.
Like, take me to the hospital. Let's take this thing.
But no, he just
disappears.
He's gone.
He's gone. Never
He's
seen
not
again.
Dead. No death scene. No, we don't know.
Yeah. I like the idea he just got up and went to the hospital. Yeah. And I was like, thinking she did it in the night. So it's like, well, we're broken up. I'm not seeing her again. I'm going
crazy.
Yep.
How'd she do this?
So I'm gonna go with that theory. So he's alive. He's just at the hospital for the rest of this. So the next scene, next is the scene of Nicole talking on the phone with her father. During this conversation, her dad is looking at an unfolded picture of a woman in a wedding dress that has a black and white picture of Nicole's head covering the head of the woman and a few red lines running across the neck. Now, I might not be describing this perfectly, but it's just a fucking weird ass thing for this guy to be looking at while he's talking on the phone with his daughter. Like, it's like it kind of gives this impression like, okay, he's either in love with his daughter, like sort of like, I want to marry my daughter myself, or I'm gonna fucking kill my daughter because there's like red blood, like lines across her neck, like her neck was slashed or something like that. Like, what is going on with this picture?
Yeah,
why does he have it?
Yeah,
like, it's just fucking weird. So we get to another fucking weird scene of Nicole wearing a long white dress, walking down an old empty like hospital hallway towards a hand that's continually like opening and closing, and we hear Lee's voice talking over everything,
saying, "I like chocolate ice cream."
Yeah,
I used to like chocolate ice cream.
Something stupid.
Yeah,
makes you know. It's like, what?
I just wanted you to know that to let you know what kind of person I was. I like chocolate ice cream.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And she stops just short of the hand, looks at it, turns around, walks back down the hallway the way she came. The camera follows her as she wanders through the empty hallways and rooms of this abandoned like hospital. I guess it's a hospital.
Yeah, hospital or church, because she walks into this
the
like
building.
almost like
This room. She walks into this very large open room, and it does look very like it could be something like cathedral, with many archways and pillars. Mm-hmm. But then the windows are like squared on, almost like bars. So, like maybe it's a weird. It could be like a hospital that because hospitals used to be a very church-like or have some
sanitarium or something.
Sanatorium. She and in the far corner stands a dark-haired woman in all white, but a large blood stain on her chest. And they stand there looking at each other for a while before Nicole turns around, and as soon as she turns around, she's face to face with Josephine, who shouts at her in a demonic voice, "That's my ring, you whore." Or no, "That's my ring, whore."
Yeah.
And simply that, blackout.
That's it.
That's what the fuck? Why? Oh God! So we cut to Nicole waking up in her bed. So another goddamn
again,
dream.
it was a dream.
And which, I mean, this was obviously a dream or something, but this is the third dream sequence we've now
Yeah.
had, like the last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
She sneaks off into the bathroom and calls Carly on the phone. And so now Nicole is at Carly's place. The two of them are drinking coffee and they talk, and Nicole is telling her about the dreams. And during this scene, we learn that apparently Carly is a psychic or a medium.
Yeah.
What the shit?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I used to dabble in the black arts.
Yeah, I used to dabble in that.
Sure.
Yeah, no big deal.
Yeah,
So Nicole asked her to do a reading on the ring. So she's like, yeah, of course. So Carly lights 2 candles and places Nicole's hand on what looks like a folded up white bedsheet.
Right.
That's all you need for a psychic reading is just 2 candles and a white bedsheet, apparently.
Yeah.
And it's hard to hear what Carly's saying during this reading due to like poor sound quality and the fact that the actors are speaking very softly in this scene. They're not talking very loudly.
And they're horrible British accents.
Yeah, so I don't know what's said here. Basically, we cut to the two of them suddenly at the house.
No, she does say something to the effect of, I see her here. It's like she is able to read or have a feeling about the ring, and then basically she's like, let's go talk to my cousin, is what she says.
Is that the cousin?
That's
Okay,
the cousin. Yeah.
Yeah, but basically we're at the house or a flat of this awkward, weird guy who again is the cousin. I missed that. So Carly's cousin, and he's supposed to be like an expert on paranormal and like mythical items and whatnot. And he offers them toilet water to drink. That's like the one thing I remember from the scene. He's like, I don't have any coffee or tea. I was hoping you weren't calling me, but I do have toilet water if you want that.
Well,
but
they do often call bathrooms just the toilet. So, and he even mentions, he's like, not out of the toilet, not out of the actual toilet, not like he's so awkward.
Yeah.
He's tripping over his words, he's fumbling, he's like all nervous.
He's the same, basically Lee. He's the same thing Lee does.
But
just
he's so
turned up a notch.
Awkward and just, but once they're like, once they start talking about the rings, boom, he switches gears and he's all smooth, professional, on it, with it. Like, it's a total shift in personality.
Now, here's another thing I was like, he takes, again, you brought up the ring. He takes one glance at it and he immediately is like, Jesus Christ, that's Josephine Stewart's ring. Just one simple look.
He knows exactly what it is, where it's from, what the story is behind it. Yeah.
Now, I want to bring this up here. Because we already talked about the opening of the movie, how it shows a necklace instead of a fucking ring. And that necklace has a blue sapphire in the shape of a heart. And so I'm guessing, but the ring that Nicole wears that's used is clearly a dark red gem in it.
Yes.
Maybe like a garnet or something, but it hasn't. So it's not
like
even a blue gem.
It's like a silver setting with a red stone.
Yeah. So it's not. Nothing is right about this. The opening shows a blue sapphire heart necklace. The ring is
silver
garnet or something. Nothing remotely similar or connects these things at all.
Nothing.
So, but it's supposed to be the same cursed object.
But yeah, the cousin's like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is. He tells her the whole backstory.
Yeah, he's like, oh, let me guess, you're having visions, aren't you, and nightmares, and he's like, oh yeah, Josephine, doesn't like you, he wants to kill you. He's like, as a matter of fact, like, she doesn't like you very
this
much.
is when he then explains that anyone even loosely associated with the ring, will be, is in harm, is in jeopardy. So then that explains why the dude got his mouth sewn shut, why the shopkeeper got killed, and so on.
He tells a story about Josephine, how she was betrayed by the man she was engaged to marry. So we get her backstory, like she snapped and she began picking people off one by one. And when she was ready to kill her to-be husband, she put on her wedding dress, bit off her own finger the ring on it, spit the finger onto her husband, and then gutted him and pulled out all of his entrails.
Pretty hardcore.
Yeah. And he tells him that he's been waiting for this ring to pop up for years again, and that over the last 100 years or so, the ring has popped up here and there, and each time a young couple with a young couple, and each time that couple dying in a gruesome death. So now he wants to meet Josephine. He's like, hey, I want to meet this girl.
Let's meet the
so
bitch.
he pours some, like, some sake on the ring.
Oh, it's water, but he's pouring it out of a sake container.
I know, but it looks like he's pouring sake on it. And he says some cryptic poem or words. And now Josephine appears in a smoke-filled mirror, threatens Nicole. Both Nicole and Carly are, like, super chill about this.
I
They
know.
act like it's...
Everyone's just like, yeah.
They act like it's a total everyday event that a murdering, vengeance-seeking ghost, like, is in a mirror and threatens him. It's like, yeah, it happens every day. No big deal. No big deal.
Who wants lunch?
Yeah.
Like, they just don't seem to care.
So Josephine's like, basically like, I'm going to kill you all. I'm going to kill you. And Carly just says, no, you won't. Just like I'm parent to a child. It's like, no, you're not going to have that cooker. No, you're not going to do that. And Carly's like, no, you won't.
No, you're not.
It's like, there's no emotion or like immediacy in this scene.
Right. There's no sense of like, you're talking to a fucking demon.
Yeah, who
or
wants to kill you
in a mirror, you know, and they're just like, nah, you're not going to do that.
Yeah. So they trap her in the mirror with a sheet, by covering with a sheet, so they basically treat the murderous ghost like a fucking bird in a cage.
We'll put the sheet over it. It'll think it's nighttime.
Yeah,
it'll go to
bed. That's exactly what happens.
That's hilarious. And he's just like, oh, she won't escape. I've always wanted a ghost in a mirror.
Yeah.
Well, now you got one.
So this guy tells Nicole that the ring is still Josephine's, that it's her anchor to this world, and it will stay that way until the curse is broken. And he tells by the way, keep the ring away from dark energy, bad karma, and blood.
Dead bodies and blood.
Yeah. And whatever you do not stick the finger with your ring on it up your ass. Why?
What?
Because it's dirty. That's it. That's the whole reason why.
Why did they go there?
Yeah, it's like,
why did they go there?
They're trying to be funny. It's like, that's so
juvenile,
and like this hasn't been like a slapstick movie, or like they haven't been making like anal fart jokes at all. This movie, it's like there's no.
All of a sudden, boom, we're going there.
Don't stick your finger up your ass. I mean, it's like there's no reason for that. It's just fucking retarded. So the girls leave. Time passes. Nicole returns to Lee's place, where he confronts her about running off in the middle of the night. She's like, I can't tell you what happened. I can't tell you. He gets pissed off at her for like not telling him the truth or lying, and he storms out. So we follow Lee, who's walking along some brick building, and we hear like whispered voices, played over the scene. Can't make out what they're saying. The man in the black sheets with the plague mask is creeping behind Lee. He stops, turns around, sees nothing. The man's gone. And when he turns back around, here comes Andy pulling up in his car. The two of them drive off. They're next seen drunk at a club/bar, getting, drinking it away.
Yeah.
And now we get another flashback of Nicole and Lee spending time together out in a field in the middle of nowhere.
Flying a kite or something.
Yeah, or just got done flying a kite. This scene, it's really fucking boring.
Long and pointless.
It's basically meant to show us how great the relationship was, but it's so goddamn boring and meaningless. It's just more filler. It really is.
Yeah.
Back at the club, Lee suddenly sobers up. He's all drunk. I was like, and he just like flipping a light switch. He's suddenly sober, saying, I have an epiphany that I don't care that Nicole lied to me. I still love her. I'm going to go be with her. And he just runs out the club.
Yeah, that's it.
That's... What? Nobody sobers up that quickly. Like, that's so
and he seemed wasted. They even talked about him throwing up earlier.
Yeah.
So he's like hammered.
Yeah, to the point of vomiting.
Yeah.
He needs a vomitorium like that.
And all of a sudden, he's just like, I'm good.
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So he rushes off to find Nicole so he can tell her about his newfound carefree attitude. He finds
You
Nicole.
can lie to me all you want.
Yeah. He finds Nicole at her father's office, but not until he has a run-in with who I assume are like two janitors or something. And it's an argument over spilled coffee on a boiler suit. And the scene ends with Lee leaving to go buy the guy a new suit and leaves the building. It's like
a comedy scene.
It's supposed to be, but it's like, again, there's no point to this scene. There's no reason for it.
No, there isn't. There's it has nothing to do with anything.
It's, again, I think just filler. I mean, they had to struggle, I guess, to get this thing above 60 minutes. He's like, throw the shit in here.
Yeah, I mean, it's this scene where he's running back to go see Nicole, and he's got flowers. He bumps into this guy, spills coffee on his boiler suit, and then he starts bitching about how he needs to buy him a new boiler suit and how you won't get past me until you do this.
Yeah, some of these janitors are like security guards now, too.
It goes on, and it's kind of, they're trying to make jokes about the shit, like, and it's
awful.
poor.
It's so bad. So finally, we cut to Nicole crying in her father's office. Leslie's trying to console her, and in comes Lee with flowers. They hug and they make up on the spot. That's it. They hug. Oh, everything's done, forgiven. Now we crossfade to their wedding day. So that was it. Just all that's. Gifts are piling up on a table in a room whose walls are covered in yellow sheets. Let me tell you, this is the fanciest wedding I have ever seen in my life. Holy cow! It's in a warehouse room with yellow sheets covering the wall and a folding table with a white sheet used as an altar.
Yep.
And folding chairs for seats.
I think balloons. They did have balloons.
And balloons, yes. They did have balloons.
A few balloons.
White balloons, yeah.
Yes.
So
it's the size of a small cell.
Yeah,
it's pretty small.
It's
small
probably
room.
the size of the room we're in now.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously that you guys can't see it, but it's not much. And there's also this comes back. I will point this later, but there are no windows in this room at all.
Yes, there's a door.
There's a door. So we get the montage of Lee and Nicole getting ready while sappy music plays. After the montage, we see Bricktop, or the mob boss, who I thought was Bricktop.
So now they're showing the rival gang leader,
who's like giving he's like the football player, like pumping up the team in the locker room before the big game. Like, all right, guys, we're gonna go out there and get him, win one for the Gippa.
Yeah, you were gonna kill him. All right, I want to see him hanging. I want to see toes come up. I want to see torture. I want to see him all die. All right, gang.
I'm not sitting this one out. I'm coming with you.
He goes, I'm not sitting this one out. You know, like his last hurrah.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, you killed my son, so I wanted his daughter in pieces, and blah, 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 blah. So back at the wedding, all the guests consist of Leslie's mobsters.
Like bodyguards, yeah.
That's it. There are no friends or family at this wedding.
Except for Carly and...
There's Carly and Andy.
Yeah, and that's
Nicole and Lee, and then everybody else is just mobsters.
Yeah.
Gangsters.
Just like all gangsters.
Yeah. And there's the preacher. Yeah. That's it. So it's about a dozen mobsters in a room with the yellow sheets. And now, again, I thought crime lords were supposed to have like shit tons of money, but I guess Leslie's like the head of like a really, really shitty crime organization, because again, this wedding is the crappiest thing and location I've ever seen. Like, where'd the money go? Like, where's your money, crime lord? Come on.
You got none.
So the wedding starts, and
it would look better in his office.
It really would have. They could have just gone outside to one of those parks they shot and just done it outside.
Nope, they can't do the parks.
So the wedding starts, and seriously, a few words into the ceremony, one of the balloons pops. And one of the mobsters shouts out, "Sniper!" And everyone pulls out their various guns and runs outside.
If there's there's a couple things.
Oh, I have
a
big problem with this.
Okay, there's a sniper shooting at you.
Yeah.
Into a room with no windows.
No windows!
How? Okay, that's pretty fucking obvious. That's horrible. That's horrible. 2, he yells, "Sniper!" and everyone just runs outside. Runs outside right into sniper fire.
Yes, that's say cover, and they run right outside.
And then 3, the people who aren't mobsters without guns running outside, they don't hit the deck, they don't do anything. They just stand around like, huh?
All right, yeah. The problems I have with this is very similar. First of all, the fact that they knew it was a sniper right away, not just a balloon popping, it was like, what? How would you know that? And also the fact that the balloon pops because it's shot with a bullet. And so, but the bullet then apparently just stops at the balloon. Nobody on the other side of the balloon gets shot. And that would be bullshit. The balloon is not going to stop a bullet. Somebody would have gotten shot on the other side of that balloon. But the bullet just vanishes instead. I also don't have So the main problem I have is the fact there's no windows
None.
in this room. So apparently the sniper shoots through solid concrete
And can see through it.
and can see through it. I don't know. So how does the sniper even know what he's shooting at? Like he can't see. And not to mention the sniper gun itself is basically just an MP5 with a silencer on. It's not even a rifle, like a sniper rifle. It's just a silenced assault rifle. It's like, oh, God damn it. So now moving on, we hear the sounds of massive firefight shootout going on
There's
outside.
a big gang fight going on out there.
Yeah, 2 more sniper rounds are fired. One hits Leslie in the stomach, and the other hits him right in the neck. He drops. He dies in Nicole's arms, who, again, takes this amazingly well. And not just her, like, all of them are way too calm for what's happening around them.
There's a fucking gangland of violence war. Gang war.
It is gang war.
Full-on gang war
in
happening.
the middle of your wedding, and you're like,
and they're like,
all right,
huh,
just another Tuesday.
Going to get the show on the road.
Yeah. So
she's consoling her father, like, oh, don't die. And, Carly says, hey, you might want to move that ring from all that blood. Remember what my cousin said? Blood gets all over the ring.
Blood's drenched in the ring. But I want to say the only person that seems remotely affected by any of this is the preacher, who seems somewhat freaked out, concerned. Everybody else, like, whatever. But you're right. You go on. You were, first of all, Leslie then, before the bring you, Lee picks up Leslie's gun, and he charges out like, I'm going to go join the fight. I'm like, why the fuck are you doing that? This makes no sense to me. Like, it wasn't his father, and he's not a mobster. He's not a gang member. Like, I would think should be more concerned about keeping your soon-to-be wife safe. Get her out of there. But no, he grabs a gun. He's gonna go run outside and join in the fray. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, now the blood gets all over the ring, and basically sensing a disturbance in the force, Carly's cousin,
he's sitting on the couch reading,
looks up from his book he was reading and says, oh no, and he goes to uncover the mirror. Now, cue super shitty visual effects of, like, paranormal clouds and energy in the sky above, like, the warehouse where they're having the wedding.
This is pretty bad CGI.
Well, for some reason, the outside is throwing some really shitty shadows of, like, men holding guns in the bottom corner of the screen. Did you see that?
Yeah!
It's so, like, why is that there?
It's so strange.
Like, that doesn't need to be there. I don't know what, it just looks like ass. I don't know why it's there. So suddenly Josephine appears in blue light and smoke, standing on the altar, aka folding table covered by a sheet, and she says, let us pray. And Leslie's dead body is dragged under a table by the man in the plague mask, and I guess the body's eaten because the table just starts shaking a lot.
And blood starts splattering
out. Yeah, so I guess they're eating the body. Nicole and Josephine are face to face. Lee, who all of a sudden is back now, he shoots Josephine in the chest twice. She falls to the ground.
It's that easy. Sweet.
Yeah. Andy opens the front door and just talks to this long-haired mobster who's supposed to be in the middle of a firefight.
And he's
just standing there all calm, like, shoot.
Yeah, and there's like, so how much you got left? He's like, oh, I got a few more. Yeah, I think we'll be done in about 10 minutes.
He calmly, and he's like, yeah, how's everything going? The guy calmly replies, only a couple of fuckers left. Should only take a few more minutes. And he's like, all right. Good for you.
Keep it up.
Gives him like a little slap on the back, closed the door, and goes back in. I'm like, again, like, I don't.
Is this supposed to be funny?
Yeah, like,
is it?
God, I'm getting like brain freeze from this. Like, I don't understand why you would write this. Like, nobody would act this way. If there was a gang war, I would not peek my head outside and say, hey, how's it going out here?
It's like the movie's kind of going somewhat slapsticky, funny almost, or
I don't know.
We don't know where this is going. Yeah.
So Nicole opens up one of her wedding gifts, which happens to be a fucking hatchet. Somebody gives her a hatchet as a wedding gift, and like, again, like, are you fucking serious? Who gives that as a wedding gift? Not to mention, how does Nicole know that's the one that's a hatchet? Because she just picks it up like she knows what it is and opens it.
I need this hatchet.
I need this hatchet right here. Just let me take this wrapping paper off of it.
I must have missed that part, because I was wondering where the hatchet came from.
It was on the table of the gifts. She unwrapped it.
And where the fucking sword came from.
Oh, well, that comes up. So Nicole approaches Josephine, who stands up, after saying, I'm going to have to ask you to leave, you weren't invited, Nicole began slashing Josephine with the hatchet. Nicole sprayed and covered in blood, but this has no effect on Josephine. She's just standing there. And again, Josephine has all the time in the world, like, just basically kill everybody.
Sure. She's just standing there taking it, looking scary.
Yeah, like, just standing there.
Yeah. She's not doing shit.
Seeing this, Nicole says, well, I know what I have to do now. And then she cuts off her own finger with her own ringed finger and throws it at Josephine. Josephine vanishes in a blue light, and Carly's like, well, she's only going to come back. That just surprised her. That didn't do it. She left because she was surprised. She'll be right back. How do you know?
What is happening? And she goes, oh, I guess I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, they say the only way to get rid of her is to change the meaning of the ring. So Andy comes back telling them that, hey, don't go outside, by the way. There's a gang war out there. Well, no shit. You can hear it. I mean...
That's not new information.
Yeah, that's not new. So Nicole now wants her finger back so that she can reattach it. This leads us to a shot of a gang member who all of a sudden is back inside because they all ran outside, but all of a sudden one of them is back inside, who gets grabbed and dragged away by the man in the plague mask. The plague mask thing finds Nicole's finger on the floor and eats it. Lee sees this, and because it happened like 3 feet away from them, but still, no one seems freaked out after what's happened. Still, everybody's perfectly calm. And I mean, for Christ's sake, Carly is standing with her arms crossed, looking bored out of her mind. Lee takes the head from Nicole and kills the plague mask guy with one strike to the head. And he somehow gets Nicole's finger back, even though he ate it. Gives it back to Nicole, and now they start opening other wedding gifts, and this is what consists of basically a machete and a sword. So those are the wedding gifts on this table.
Like a fucking samurai sword.
Yeah, like straight up Michonne, katana, Walking Dead style. Yeah.
This made me think of the bride in Kill Bill. You know, like she's got a fucking sword, she's in a wedding dress, and all of a sudden, I'm getting Kill Bill thrown in there. Yeah. So already, I've talked about Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I've talked about we both talked about Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Snatch, Guy Ritchie type films, and now all of a sudden, I'm starting to get kind of a Kill Bill theme here.
Yeah, there
too.
You go.
So
there you go. So these wedding gifts are just blow my mind. So Carly reattaches Nicole's finger using a staple gun. Which, nurse, would that even be possible? Could you reattach a finger with a staple gun?
I mean, you could maybe staple it on, but no, it's not going to work. I mean, it's not going to work. You don't need to ask a nurse that. That's common sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just sitting there looking at him like, what the fuck? And she's taking it like a champ.
Yeah.
That's got to hurt, man.
Yeah, that would hurt. But again, like, nobody has any emotion as feelings. No. Like, in this movie, they're just emotionless zombie, like, going through their emotions. So now Bricktop comes in.
He looks wounded.
He's been shot. He's holding his gun up. He stumbles towards the group, gun raised. Andy sees this, leaps in front of Nicole and Andy, taking the bullet. The gang leader drops dead, as does Andy. Carly goes to help Andy. Now, some really, really bad acting is shown here as Andy and Carly try to have like this emotional moment.
Oh, yeah. Like, Andy's dying. Yeah. He's having his last breath. And the sound is really bad, but he's trying to act here.
Yeah.
And you can tell because he's breathing so heavily.
Oh,
and it's hard to understand what's going on because it's, it's like, oh, God, now you're deciding to act?
Yeah, it sounds like he just got to run a marathon. And they're trying to be heartfelt. Like, oh, my God, I really do love you and I'm sorry and all this and blah, blah, blah. Let's get back to it. Blah. It's that same shit.
Yeah.
It's that song and dance. But she's like, she kisses him, and Andy says he's going to live. I'm going to live just so I can see your nipples again. And he's like, well, I can show you those now if you want. And he's like, no, I need a reason to live, so don't show me your tits now. I'm like, what? It's like, again, like, the writing here is...
What's going on?
Yeah, it's asinine. Nicole and Lee grab the preacher, force him to finish the wedding ceremony, and as soon as he pronounces them man and wife, Josephine pops up behind them in a ball of fire and other crappy visual effects. Carly says, you may kill the bride. So Nicole chops off Josephine's head with either the machete or
It's
the sword
samurai
or whatever. Yeah,
Because
okay.
they even show her like open it, like around at her eyes. Like a fucking samurai movie or something. She opens it up. It's a shot of her eyes
Isn't it
opening.
like from like the Ninja Gaiden video?
Right,
game?
right,
Ninja
yeah.
Gaiden, it was all letterbox.
Yeah.
Black.
So she opens it up and then goes, yeah.
Yeah. So she cuts off Josephine's head and blackout immediately. Like the head hasn't even completely
Hasn't
fallen
even
off the
fallen
shoulders
off.
yet, and it's blackout. Now the narrator from the opening comes back to talk over some more black and white images of basically showing what just happened, like of the characters in the movie and like the wedding and dead gangsters laying all around. And he gives us some epilogue crap, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like
And-
Lee and Nicole go off.
They went straight to the airport for the honeymoon, didn't even wash up, went in a blood-soaked wedding dress just to get on the honeymoon, and who knows what the cops thought about all this, and yeah.
And then
And
Lee
then-
and Carly or pardon me.
Lee and Carly and Andy are probably
Andy,
banging
yeah.
in a water closet somewhere. But again, it goes back to the blue heart-shaped necklace,
Yeah.
which I don't understand why it keeps showing this, because the movie's about a cursed ring, not a necklace. I don't get it. But anyway, it blacks out again. Roll the fucking credits. That's the goddamn movie that makes no fucking sense.
Some passion.
Ugh. So that's Hellbride, everybody. That is Hellbride. That's now there's not much to go on, but let's go into favorite kills.
There can be only one. Favorite kill?
All right, Aaron, what do you got?
Well, there weren't really many
No.
kills. There was a kid who got shot in the head. There was a store clerk who got his face squished.
Mhm.
Eric really didn't die.
Yeah, we're assuming. Yeah, in our
Yeah.
version of the movie, Eric's just at the hospital getting fixed up. He's at the ER,
Yeah, getting his lips
so
unsewed.
he's fine.
Yeah. Jeez. I guess. Fuck.
They
There's like nothing.
They all suck.
Yeah.
I know.
I guess I'm going to go with Josephine getting her head cut off because that's at least the end of the movie.
Yeah,
That's my favorite kill. It's like, the movie's done. Sweet.
you stole exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say the same damn thing. It was because the movie was over as soon as it happened. So it was a shitty effect, but it marked the end of the shitty movie. So Josephine getting decapitated, favorite kill.
All right.
Oh, so let's go into odds and ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
I shit myself almost when I saw the ratings for this movie. IMDb, 5.1 out of 10.
Wow.
5! Who the fuck gave this movie 5 stars? Out of 10, I agree, but still 5. Now, Rotten Tomatoes, nothing.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I mean, no tomatoes, not even an audience score
that's
yet.
not a surprise.
No. Amazon, 3.4 out of 5 on Amazon.
Oh, that's just about par for the
Oh,
course.
still, it just, people anger me. This like made me lose hope in humanity. Really.
Whoa.
Plot keywords. There were 15 total.
Okay.
Aaron, you want to take a gander? Take a guess.
Let's see. Plague Mask.
Nope.
Staple Finger.
Nope.
Wedding.
Yes.
Bride.
Yes.
Jeez.
All right.
Lord of the Rings ripoff.
That should be.
Yeah.
No, we
Guy
have
Ritchie ripoff. No.
we have
Quentin Tarantino ripoff. No.
Wedding, Gangster, Sniper,
Ooh.
Nightclub, Nightclub, Monster, which is I use the loosest word of the word monster.
And that monster could put up no fight. He got killed so easily.
Yeah.
One little hatchet, whack.
Yeah.
Done.
Done.
Jesus.
Finger bitten off, bride, axe, ring, stand-up comedian, which again, I'm using that term very loosely in this movie, proposal, mouth sewn shut, finger cut off, eye gouging, and beheading are our plot keywords for this movie.
That's about right.
Trivia, nothing.
Nothing?
Couldn't find a damn thing.
Yeah.
So it should be no surprise that I also, unfortunately, could not find any budget information, so there is no.
That's not a surprise because I imagine this was shoestring budget.
Yeah, it had to have been, but yeah, no budget game this week. But I did find, we do have 5-star reviews.
These special movies have a place in these special people's hearts. 5-star reviews.
So,
Fucking hell.
Now, okay, I kind of lied. There are 0 5-star reviews. There were only 7 total reviews on Amazon for this movie, all from this year, from 2016. The highest review was a 4-star review from Thomas Clement.
That's 4 stars too many.
Yes, it is. While this movie was only made in 2007, the budget gives the kind of effects you might find in a 70s B flick. But who cares about effects? This is about characters and dialogue. And it's here the movie shines. Sure, the accents were a bit hard for this yank to decipher 100%, and it relies too much on F-bombs. But when the dialogue works, it brings some terrific laughs. Not the most original plot, jilted bride, cursed ring, etc., but it's not the ingredients, it's how well the cake is baked. If you like Tucker and Dale versus Evil, I think you'll like this one. 4 stars. First of all, it is a matter of the ingredients, because if you put shitty ingredients in a cake, the cake's gonna taste like shit. It is all about the ingredients.
That's how. Yes!
It's all about the ingredients! If you put, like, rotten tuna and, like, tobacco and hot sauce in a cake, it's gonna taste like shit!
Yes, it will. Man, I like that. Please tell me you had that in your back pocket, because that was beautiful. I loved it.
Moving on, Tim L, 4 stars. B movie with a big surprise. It's rare to find a B comedy flick with funny moments as well as subtle, consistent humor in the dialogue. I'd watch it again for a few more laughs. Definitely something I'd recommend. Fuck you, Tim L. No, it's not. God damn these people. Waka Jawaka, dark and funny, a twisted love story? Question mark? More than that, a little bit thriller, a little bit horror, and a lot of intelligent story writing and acting. 4 stars.
Intelligent acting?
This is awful.
My
I
God.
mean, high school plays with better acting. From ES. Really low budget, but good script. Well acted, likable characters, and funny. 4 stars. Are we the only ones who don't get this movie then? Because
maybe there's something wrong with us. Because people seem to think it's pretty well acted.
Unless all these people are British for some. Maybe it's a British thing. I don't know. The last 4-star review is just from a customer that says, that was a hell of a wedding. And so they lived happily ever after. The end. ... 4 stars.
Weird. It's a weird review.
Last 2 reviews. 1 3-star review from Jessica. It was okay to pass time, but that was about it. In fact, I'm not paying attention at all. I'm not paying attention all the time, so I missed some of the middle, etc. Wouldn't watch it again, that's for sure. 3 stars.
Why would you even read a review?
Yeah.
I really didn't watch it. So, 3 stars?
Even this, at least that's a little more realistic, but still, 3 stars. I wouldn't watch it again. 3 stars you can not watch again. I'd watch. Yeah.
3 stars. It's like that's just the bottom of the barrel for me to watch it again.
Yeah, and last one from the 1-star review from Science Minded. Just dreadful, not worth your time. 1 star. Finally, somebody gets it besides us. Thank you, Science Minded. God damn this movie. I'm done. We're wrapping this up. Final thought, final review, final recommendations, thoughts, whatever. You know the deal here.
So I've been on hiatus for about a month, and now this is what I come back to.
Yeah.
Fuck. God damn it. So yeah, so bad it's scary. It's obvious.
Yeah.
It's obvious.
Of course.
For sure.
Yeah, same. So bad, it's scary. The only thing I will say about this movie is it had potential in the premise of the fact that if the ghost of Josephine, this movie could have been so much better, because they said like it's supposed to kill everybody involved with the way and work its way up to the bride and groom. Okay, if that's the case, then they could have had death scenes for Carly and Andy, the father. They could have killed all these people, and then Andy or Lee and Nicole be like, "What the fuck's happening?" Then they realize it's like, "Oh shit, it's the ring," and they're they're about to die, but we have to get married to break this curse. And this big climactic thing where they get married right as Josephine's about to kill them or something. There was potential here, but they fucked it all up. Like Nicole or Andy and Carly should have been killed in some gruesome way to make this curse more threatening instead of everybody like, we don't care about shit. Nothing happened.
Let's try and be witty instead.
Yeah.
Let's throw out a couple of one-liners.
But regardless, same thing. So bad it's scary. This movie's fucking awful. Do not watch it at any cost. It's bad. So bad.
There's your PSA.
Yeah, PSA. All right, I gotta take a breath. Holy shit. All right.
You're getting pretty worked up over here.
Yeah, that's gonna do it for us for this week. I need to go take a nap, and I don't know if maybe I need to give myself an enema to get rid of this movie. I don't know. Something needs to happen.
A cleansing.
A
if you will.
cleansing. Yeah.
Yes.
I need a cleanse to wash this movie away. But so in the meantime, remember, follow us on. Check out our Facebook page. You can like us on there. Check out our website, horriblehorrorpodcast.com. Check out our Twitter, So Bad It's Scary. We're on Instagram at Horrible Horror Podcast. And you can listen to our podcast on Podbean at horriblehorror.podbean.com, as well as iTunes, where you can subscribe, like, give us 5 stars. And like I said, for recently, well, second, not one here, but we are also now on Google Play as well.
Yeah.
So there's one more avenue if you can find our show. Like I say, if you have any recommendations or suggestions, feel free to send them in, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, or our email through our website. We're always taking listeners suggested movies. We have actually next week is a listener suggested movie. We'll be
Who
doing.
is the listener?
I don't know. No, it was somebody who it was from the convention from Contamination. Okay. The next, not next week's movie is Drainiac.
Okay.
So you can look for that if you want to catch up. That's going to do it for us this week. Thanks for listening. I'm Marshall Hampton.
I am Aaron Southworth.
All right. In the meantime, watch more horror movies, and forever and always keep it tight.
Keep it tight.
Keep it tight.
Keep it tight.
Keep it tight.